The Zonal Coordinator of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU Calabar Zone, Happiness Uduk, has accused the federal government subcommittee of being uninterested in resolving the union's demands, calling the committee ineffective. ASUU issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government demanding the conclusion of the renegotiation of the 2009 FGN-ASUU agreement, which they claim is outdated, and the release of the withheld salaries from 2022 strike. They also seek the payment of unpaid staff salaries affected by the integrated payroll and personal information system, and the release of outstanding third-party deductions. Frank, I'll bring you in on this one first.
Well, it's unfortunate. You know what you call ASUU. Are you aware that just about a year ago or 2 years, the other wanted to divide ASUU and also call it hunger, whatever. My concern is, I was told education is power. Education is a light. Education is the bedrock of development. It gives room to people to go on research, so that this country can grow. It's also where we are not also doing the right thing in helping the university system to engage on research or researchers. It will also help us to grow beyond this level. I tell people, look, a nation grows based on its level of education. But as of now, there are people who have the knowledge. But when you play with that knowledge, what happens? The knowledge will not be used. I know of a professor some years ago, Professor Mohammed of ABU Zaria, who said he wrote a letter asking for grant of then how much? 10 million to embark on research on issue of a palm tree. Nigerian government turned him down, refused to answer. But they have a way to Japa. I think there's a way called Japa, is not English word. He has a way to travel out of this country and went to Malaysia. And he wrote to Malaysian government asking a grant of $20 million. Not Naira. In Nigeria, he asked for 10 million. But in Malaysia, he asked for $20 million. And the government of Malaysia in Nigeria said, graciously, without any issue of racial discrimination, granted him. And he said, nothing is lost in palm tree. Everything is important, is useful. So what they are saying now is that I want to pray that this federal government, the issue of that 2009 agreement, should not be thrown overboard.
Okay.
Let it be that something is used, because ASUU, for some time, have been threatening to go on strike. And when they go on strike, who suffers? The students. I pray that they should look into, we have been told to our budget for education is below standard, considering the UNESCO standard. So what is something is that they should look into the affairs of ASUU and make them to also bring out the best in them to make our system to work. Because education, when not properly done, will not also help our nation to harness our natural resources and human capacity development.
Why do you think that this committee, according to ASUU, is being ineffective? And why do you think there have been a back and forth with conversations, dialogue, all this while, and yet the 2009 agreement has not been met?
That's because everybody, let me not even say personally, I'm even tired of ASUU going on strike. What are they going every time strike and all that? And they may be pointing out their reason, and it has remained with that 2009 agreement and all that. Which area, which sector is functioning well in Nigeria? So we should shut down the country, and the only one people are even, I call it managing and all that. You've been going on strike and all that. What came up? What came up? And then when you go on strike, you leave the students to just do anything and other, and you can find out what's happening within the campuses. So
what do you suggest they do? Because it's more than just the 2000. In fact, if you go through the 2009 agreement, you realize that if some of these things are kept, our educational sector will be better.
Of course, it will be better. ASUU should keep agitating, but this strike option is not it. For me,
that seems like the way they are able to get the federal government's attention.
After that, they will be paid. Then after that, the students who've delayed their career, who pays them? Who pays them? And we've been on this line and nothing is coming up. You just know that we have bad, if it has to do with bad governance in our education, no government should toy with the education sector. Then you ask yourself, which other sector is even the government touching very well, and where we'll say, yeah, this sector is good, is well. So, and then you not keep on with people graduating another, you go on that, later federal government will say no work, no pay, they won't pay you, later they pay them, and then the future you've delayed, who pays them? And then that leads us more into, and I don't mind, it's a devil's workshop, leads us into insecurity and all that. So I don't think, personally, I don't think this strike should be an option. Just like they are agitating that nobody should go and protest. The last protest they did, even university campuses came up to say we are not part of it, no student will be part of it. Now you want to go on strike, please also don't go on strike. Let's keep going with Nigeria the way we are going. Because if you didn't want everybody, nobody, my colleague here said we should have united, come up with that protest and then achieve something generally. Now you want to go your own, and everybody should support ASUU that they are going on strike. Later they will be paid, and then the students that the students are always at the receiving end. So I don't support this strike. All
right, Frank, do you agree with what Dandy has said about ASUU, continuing with the agitation instead of going on strike?
No, they can continue the agitation. I won't say they should go on strike because see, thank God that in my time I did not suffer strike, but I suffered something that delayed my NYSC. I want to say, because like you just said also, the more you go on strike, the more you delay the people. Who suffers for the payment of school fees? Who suffers for the upkeep? The people, the parents. Some people in the school today, they are the ones training themselves. Some people don't have access to even loan. If you even sure of the federal government loan, that it has become a thing that nobody's talking about it, they don't even know the procedures involved. So for me, strike in education should not be the best option.
All right, thank you.
But because in Nigeria, they say when you go on strike, that's the only music the government can dance well and be happy to respond to your need. But I am not saying that strike should be the best option.
All right, thank you, Frank.